Assalamu alaikum, this is Maria Zulfikar welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Advisory Council approves a draft of Election Commission Secretariat Amendment Ordinance 2025. Tulip Siddiq, niece of Sheikh Hasina, still a registered voter in Bangladesh and holds Bangladeshi passport and NID card. NCP convener Nahid Islam demands justice for killings and atrocities during July-August uprising. Chattogram Wasa's ATM booths play a vital role for providing pure drinking water to commoners. Israeli military kills 83 more Palestinians, including 61 in Gaza City. And Afghanistan batting against Sri Lanka in Asia Cup at Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The Advisory Council has given in principle and final approval to the draft of Election Commission Secretariat Amendment Ordinance 2025. The approval was given at a meeting of the Advisory Council held at the Chief Advisor's office at Tejgaon in the capital this morning. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus presided over the meeting. The meeting also gave in principle and final approval to the draft of the Election Officers Special Rules Amendment Ordinance 2025. Besides, the Advisory Council has given final approval to the draft of certain finance laws Second Amendment Ordinance 2025, subject to the vetting of the Legislative and Parliamentary Affairs Department. Members of the Advisory Council and secretaries concerned were present at the meeting. Emerging from the meeting, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam said this at a press briefing at the Foreign Service Academy.
দুটো আইন সংস্কারের সিদ্ধান্ত হয়েছে আর এনবিআর এর মানে ইন্টারনাল রেভিনিউ ডিপার্টমেন্ট তাদের একটা আইন সংস্কারের বিষয়ে বিশ্লেষণ নির্বাচন কমিশনের দুইটা ল আজকে অ্যাপ্রুভ হয়েছে একটা হচ্ছে নির্বাচন কর্মকর্তা ব্র্যাকেটে বিশেষ বিধান আইন 1991 ব্র্যাকেটে এগেন 1991 সনের 13 নং আইন সংশোধনের প্রস্তাব আজকে ক্যাবিনেটে পাশ হয়েছে আর আরেকটা হচ্ছে যে নির্বাচন কমিশন সচিবালয় আইন 2009 5 নং আইনের সংশোধনের প্রস্তাব দুটো আইন প্রস্তাবের কারণে যেটা হবে যে ইলেকশনের আগে নির্বাচন কমিশনের কাজে গতি পাবে এবং খুব দ্রুত তারা অনেকগুলো মেজার নিতে পারবেন আর এনবিআর এর যে লয়ে যেটা চেঞ্জ এসছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে অর্থ সংক্রান্ত কতিপয় আইন ব্র্যাকেটে দ্বিতীয় সংশোধন অধ্যাদেশ 2025 এর খসড়া নীতিগত ও চূড়ান্ত অনুমোদন হয়েছে তো আজকে জানানো হয় যে প্রথম যে আমরা 121টি সংস্কারের প্রথম যেটা নিয়ে কাজ করা হচ্ছিল সেটা নিয়ে জানানো হয় যে 77টি অতি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সংস্কারের মধ্যে 24টি অলরেডি বাস্তবায়িত হয়েছে এবং আংশিক বাস্তবায়িত হয়েছে 14টি বাকিগুলো খুবই দ্রুত গতিতে বাস্তবায়নের পথে আছে
Tulip Siddiq, niece of fascist Sheikh Hasina, is still a registered voter in Bangladesh and holds both a Bangladeshi passport and a national identity card. On this matter, the Delhi Prothom Alo worked jointly with British newspaper The Times. Tulip Rizwana Siddique, once an influential MP of the ruling Labour Party in the British Parliament, has long claimed that she is solely a British citizen, but investigations have revealed proof of her Bangladeshi citizenship. Documents show that a national identity card was issued in Tulip Rizwana Siddique's name in 2011. For it, she used the address of 5 Dhanmondi Road in Dhaka, Shuda Shodon, the residence of her aunt Sheikh Hasina. On 12 August, a spokesperson from Station Harwood, the legal advisory firm representing Tulip Siddique, told the UK's Financial Times that Tulip had never received a Bangladeshi national ID or voter card, nor has she held any passport since childhood. In February this year, the Election Commission locked the NID cards of 10 members of the families of Sheikh Hasina and her sister Sheikh Rehana. Among them was the NID of Sheikh Rehana's daughter Tulip Siddique. When Prothom Alo inquired with the relevant branch of the Ministry of Home Affairs about whether Tulip Rizwana Siddique had renounced her Bangladeshi citizenship, officials confirmed that she has not submitted any such application to date. During his testimony before the tribunal, Nahid Islam, convener of NCP, demanded justice for the killings and atrocities committed during the July-August uprising. Calling for accountability of Sheikh Hasina, Ubaidul Qadir, Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, members of the police and all other forces involved. This morning, the second day of testimony by Nahid Islam, one of the organizers of the July movement, began at International Crimes Tribunal 1, chaired by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtuza Muzumdar and comprising 3 members. The other 2 members of the tribunal are Justice Shafiul Alam Mahmood and Justice Mohitul Haq Enam Chaudhry. Yesterday, the tribunal heard the first day of Nahid Islam's testimony. In the afternoon session today, state-appointed defense lawyers are scheduled to cross-examine him. Other accused in this case include former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and former IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun. On these final days of testimony, Nahid Islam recounted events of the movements between 19 July and 5 August 2024. Highlighting the killings, repression and brutal crackdown carried out by the fascist Awami League government. Earlier on the first day of testimony, Nahid Islam presented accounts of incidents up to 18 July 2024 during the movement before the tribunal. During a recess, Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam told journalists that Nahid Islam's testimony would play a vital role in the trial process. Over the past 17 days, the tribunal has completed the testimony of 46 out of 81 witnesses in this case. Meanwhile, hearings began today in International Crimes Tribunal 2 on the third day of testimony in the case concerning the burning of 6 bodies in Ashulia, Savar during the July-August uprising. The tribunal, chaired by Justice Muhammad Nuzrul Islam Chaudhry, includes Justices Muhammad Munzurul Wasid and Nur Muhammad Shahriar Kabir. As of the latest reports, the testimony of Laki Akhtar, widow of martyred Abul Hussein, was underway. Earlier this morning, accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, who remains in custody in the case against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 2 others for crimes against humanity during the July-August uprising, and 8 accused in the Ashulia 6-body burning case were produced before the tribunal. The Election Commission is working relentlessly to hold the 13th national election in the first half of February next year. The Election Commission has already completed the demarcation of constituencies, updated the voter list, and finalized polling centers. Training programs for officials involved in the election process are also underway. Election Commission Senior Secretary said that electoral materials have been arriving in phases since the beginning of September and are being stored at this Commission's headquarters in Agargaon. He added that all necessary materials will be in place within this month. The Commission is making its best efforts to ensure a free, fair and credible election, he added. However, experts think that the Commission's preparations alone will not be enough to guarantee successful election. They emphasized the need for responsible behavior from all political parties, the independent role of media and active participation from the public. Chattogram Wasa has an affordable system of supplying pure water through ATM booths so that people of all classes and professions can collect pure drinking water. Drinking water is available at a cheaper rate in these ATM booths. However, there are only 6 such ATM booths in the port city. Customers can buy pure water at an affordable price by using prepaid cards at these booths, which helps in reducing wastage and health risks. Water is sold at only 60 paisa per liter at these booths. An organization named Drink Well supplies this water through these ATM booths. The number of customers at each booth is 1,000 or more. Each of the ATM booths sells more than 1,000 liters of water every day. Pedestrians, local shopkeepers, and all residents of the area use the water for drinking. However, if this pure water supply system is further expanded, more inhabitants of the city will be able to drink safe and pure water. Now, international news. Israeli military killed 83 more Palestinians across the Gaza Strip, including 61 in Gaza City, where major offensive continues. With this, since October 7, 2023, the death toll from Israeli brutality in the blockaded Gaza Strip has risen to 65,062. The total number of injured has reached nearly 166,000. Meanwhile, leaving behind bombed-out houses, mutilated bodies and blood-soaked alleys, the residents of Gaza City are desperately running for their lives. After a long period of brutal massacres, the Israeli army has opened a temporary escape route out of Gaza City, though only for 48 hours. Residents are being allowed to head south through Salah al-Din Road. Within this limited 48-hour window, hundreds of thousands of people must leave Gaza City, but their destination remains unknown. And even along the escape route, there is no guarantee of safety. This is not freedom, but rather a desperate life and death struggle for survival. In the Sheikh Radwan neighborhood in the northwest of Gaza City, the Israeli forces attacked with bomb-laden robots. Relentless assaults across the city have forced residents to abandon their homes. Meanwhile, due to the ongoing genocide in Gaza, the European Commission (EC) has proposed suspending the existence free trade agreement with Israel. Alongside these, sanctions have been proposed against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's extremist ministers, as well as against Hamas and violent Israeli settlers. The EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has urged member states to quickly back the proposal. Saudi Arabia and nuclear-armed Pakistan have signed a formal mutual defense pact in a move that significantly strengthens a decades-long security partnership. According to the Saudi press agency, a joint statement published on Wednesday said this agreement, which reflects the shared commitment of both nations to enhance their security and to achieving security and peace in the region and the world, aims to develop aspects of defensive cooperation between the two countries and strengthen joint deterrence against any aggression. The agreement states that any aggression against either country shall be considered an aggression against both. The defense pact was based on the historic partnership between the two countries. The statement said, and shared strategic interests and close defense cooperation. During their meeting in Riyadh on Wednesday, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif discussed ways to enhance the strategic partnership between the two brotherly countries across various fields. The Russian Finance Ministry announced a new measure today aiming at shielding the state budget from oil price fluctuations and Western sanctions targeting Russian energy exports. Under the new initiative set to be implemented next year, the government will lower the cut-off price for oil above which all revenues go into the fiscal reserve fund to try to ensure that the fund is sufficiently replenished. The Russian government is considering raising the rate of value-added tax to keep the budget deficit in check and maintain reserves despite public assurances from President Vladimir Putin that there will be no tax rises. The draft budget is expected to be submitted to Parliament on 29th of September. Its key components are agreed with Putin beforehand and are unlikely to be significantly altered during the formal parliamentary debate. Russia, in the fourth year of its war in Ukraine, has raised personal income and corporate taxes this year, but the government still had to triple its federal budget deficit estimate to 1.7% of gross domestic product (GDP) in May. It is now set to exceed that target. The 0.9% of GDP deficit for 2026 included in a budget law last year also looks likely to be exceeded.